Over the years, I've personally generated over $4 million from print on demand, and I've helped over 1,000 people post that they've made their first sale using my strategies. Not all, but some of them have gone on to build pretty big businesses. In this video, I'm going to give you an entire course here, everything that you need to know to get started as a beginner, from going as a beginner to setting up your business to getting your first sale ideally to everything in between. So you can follow along here step by step. This is the most valuable and in-depth video that I have made about print on demand, and I'm giving it away here for you for free. So the one thing that I would ask you for is to please remove all your distractions, watch this video all the way to the end, and then start to actually implement things. All right, so let's get into the free course here. So first, what is print on demand? Well, print on demand is a model of product fulfillment where you can create designs and put them on top of different mugs, shirts, pillowcases, shot glasses, candles, teddy bears. There's all different types of products that you can sell, put your designs on top of, and then you can get them listed on different sites without ever having to actually buy inventory in advance. So you design these products. I've got all kinds of videos, and we'll go into it too here on making super simple designs, even if you're not creative. And then you take your designs, you put them on these products, you list them on places like Amazon, Etsy, eBay. When somebody purchases these products that are not physically made until after somebody purchases them, then they get made, they get shipped directly to your customer. You don't have to buy anything ahead of time or anything like that. You basically just get to test out a bunch of different products for free or for like 20 cents per Etsy listing. You know what most people do when they want to be able to sell some kind of product, it's do a bunch of research, buy a bunch of inventory, buy things, learn how to send it to Amazon, pray that it sells. This is just a super duper chill way to come up with designs, put them on products, and then after they sell, you get to keep the profit. So let's say you sell a mug for $20 and you might pay a fulfillment center, $10 to make and ship the mug on your behalf. Then you collect the profit. That $20 you sold it for minus the $10 fulfillment cost, $10 to you without having to pay for anything up front, or very little up front depending on kind of where you're going, but it's pretty awesome. So why it's perfect for beginners is because, as I mentioned, no upfront inventory investment. It's very low risk because you're really only paying after you're making a sale. On Etsy, it's 20 cents for a listing. I show you how to get your first 40 for free on rachelroffe.com/Etsy, but it's 20 cents to launch a new product. I mean, what a golden time we're living in, right? On Amazon, it's free to list your product, and then you pay a fee after you make the sale. So super chill if you don't have a ton of upfront capital that you want to risk. It can also work around your schedule. So it's really perfect for busy people who have other things going on. I mean, I sometimes make designs when I'm sitting on a plane or waiting for a dentist or whatever. It just works around your schedule, your timeline, whether it be super early, super late, or anywhere in between. You don't need to have technical or design experience because it's a pretty simple kind of model. I am not technical whatsoever, but that's all good. And then design experience, a lot of the designs that I talk about are just text-based, super simple designs. Then you can start this for under $100. You can even do it for $0 really if you were just doing the first 40 listings on Etsy for free, but let's say under $100 in terms of getting the model off of the ground. There are other things you can do to kind of make it easier on yourself, but for the just print on demand, getting your products launched, creating assets, under $100. Very awesome. So let me give you here a real example of how this works. Let's say a shirt is going to cost $19 with your supplier, right? So a customer orders your product. Let's say they see it on Amazon or Etsy or eBay. They order it. You're going to pay your supplier $19. So that'll be the product cost, the shipping, whatever. So let's say you sell that shirt for $26.95. Then you're going to keep $7.95 in profit. And then this can happen automatically. You know, the sale might go through while you're sleeping or while you're driving to work or whatever. It's all in the background happening on autopilot. Now, before I get into how to get started, if at any point in the video you want to just get more help, you want to jump in and get going, then you can just click the first link in the description, and that will help you access not only my entire print on demand course, but a vibrant and supportive community and tons of additional resources and tools that will help you get going. Now back to the video. Next, we have finding your first product. Now, for your first product, I definitely recommend selling something that has less competition than the traditional items like mugs and shirts. Now, both of those items still do really well, but they are also a little bit oversaturated now. I still make a lot of sales in them, but for your first product, I'd love you to kind of put the odds in your favor as much as possible. Unique products products are going to give you a better chance to stand out and help you kind of make your first couple of sales. In 2025, the products that I see selling the best right now are things like pillowcases, candles, teddy bears, passport holders, flasks, jewelry holders, wine glasses, things that are, people will still love them, they'll buy them all the time, but there's just not a lot of competition. There are all kinds of unique products. Choosing your first product is going to depend on your fulfillment company. So not all of these unique products are available with every single product fulfillment company, which leads me to the next step, which is choosing your fulfillment company. So what a fulfillment company is it's a business that will create and ship your products after you make the sale. So in the example that I shared before of the shirts, you make the sale, they will take the design, they'll put it on the product, in this case a shirt, and then send it to your customer on your behalf. They'll handle everything, all your production, your packaging, everything to the customers. Now, I personally like to use Custom Happy. They've got a lot of unique products. I know they're tailored to the print-on-demand community. I used to own that company. I just really trust and love them, and I know they're always coming up with other unique things. There are other companies that you can use too. There's Printify, there's Printful. Those are pretty popular. So it really just depends on kind of what you want. For me, I notice the most sales with the really unique products, and the Custom Happy support I'm a fan of, but you do you. The next step here is to create winning designs. So the criteria of a good design here, I would say, is something that's not complicated. You don't want to overcomplicate this. I personally find the very best results with simple text-based designs, because when you have something super simple, it makes it easier for people to like your product, because once you start adding in too many elements, it gives people reasons to not necessarily like your product, right? So if I'm just doing black text on a white mug as an example, people aren't going to get offended or not like black text, right? But if I start using red text, they might find that angry as an example. Or if I use a picture with flowers, they might not like a certain flower, or their dog might have a different color set of eyes than the, picture of a dog on a mug or whatever item, right? So the more simple you make it, the more people it's going to appeal to. And when we're going on Amazon and Etsy and there's tons and tons of buyers, we want to go as mass market as we can. If you start to sell items that are doing well, let's say in a niche like nursing, then you can go in later and make complicated designs later on. But for now, I just want to make it simple. Let's see if people are willing to spend money in this niche, and then we can go from there. One of the easiest strategies, by the way, for making lots of designs is to create formulas that you can apply to lots of different niches. So for example, if you want to do something for the family niche, you can say, being my, insert family member here, is really the only gift you need. So being my sister is the only gift you need, or being my grandpa is the only gift you need, being my Gigi is the only gift you need. And then you can tailor these to different, funny Gigi gift, funny sister gift, etc. Now, finding winning niches, this is something that's also going to be really important. We're not going to go after super competitive niches here, because it's going to be a race to the bottom. We want to charge a little bit more. We want to be able to have you make a bit of profit, right? So my favorite niches are long tail, highly specific keywords. So this could be something like software engineer graduate, or Rottweiler mom, or something like that. This works because there's a lot less competition in these niches. A lot of the bigger sellers are going after competitive phrases like funny mom gift or funny mom mug or something. But we're getting more detailed, more drilled down, because a lot of people aren't willing to make things for such a small niche, because it's not necessarily going to make them millions. But our bread and butter is that we're going to go after things that might make a couple sales to a couple hundred sales a month or something. It's not like a huge big fish, but it starts to add up over time, especially when you've got a lot of different designs. And because they're so simple to create, we're talking simple text-based designs and formulas and things like that, you can get out a lot pretty quickly. Okay, so getting ideas is the next section here. So there are so many different ways to get ideas for designs. Tons and tons. We've got, you can search on Etsy as an example and see what's selling. If you just go on the front page of Etsy or look for funny gifts, tons of ideas, and then you can kind of see what's selling. So see what has a lot of reviews, and then you can adapt it to your niche. Let me actually show you here on Etsy. Okay, so here is something I see. This one is an ornament. Says you're a badass bee, keep that up. And when we check this out, it says there are 38 reviews for this item. So people are buying it. And I could see you putting this across lots of different niches, right? Like you're a badass engineer, keep that up. You're a badass dog breeder. You're a badass sister. You just have that one formula that you can apply to lots of different things. Let me show you the next thing here. Here's another example. You can see it says treat dealer, and this one has 361 reviews just for this one. I don't want to go and just take someone else's design, right? But I could see pulling this and making it for different niches, right? So like Boston Terrier treat dealer as an example, and going specific for the niches, or just changing it up a little bit so that it's still the same kind of sentiment with a different phrase. As an example, GPT says that we can call it treat trafficker, biscuit cartel, snack pusher, snack supplier. There's just a whole bunch of different things, canine kingpin, and you can model it off of different breeds, which I love. So that's another idea, and there's tons of different things on Etsy. There are all different ways that you can come up with other designs too. I mean, again, ChatGPT for coming up with phrases is great. You can look off of Amazon best-selling products and see what's doing well there. I love to just look at trends sometimes, see what's really popular for getting inspiration there. I find that the ideas are basically endless once you start to kind of clock in. There is Everbee, which I can have a link with under the video here. So Everbee can do a lot of product research. There's Jungle Scout, there's Spot Niches, or there's all different types of tools that can help you see kind of what's working really well. I also get ideas just from everywhere. Sometimes looking at bumper stickers or seeing what kind of themes are popular right now. ChatGPT, as I said, I mean, ideas are just endless. You can see on Amazon funny quotes and kind of go off of that too. I mean, let me actually show you on Amazon too. If we just do for funny shirts, here's a super simple shirt. This one is showing an estimated $7,615 per month. It just says, in my defense, I was left unsupervised. You can use that and apply it to all different types of niches, right? So civil engineer, in my defense, I was left unsupervised. Basket weaver, whatever, in my defense, I was left unsupervised. And so now you have this general phrase that can go really well. Now, when it comes time to create the designs, there's all different types of tools that you can use. We've got Canva, which is the free version, works perfectly. If you are in my low-hanging system program, we've got Pixplosion, which is an awesome way to create designs really quickly. I'm going to go here inside and we're going to go to create a design, and I'll just do a custom size. Let's just say 500 by 500, and then let's hit create new design. And it's super simple. I mean, you can just add in some text here. I usually use Pixplosion, but I want to show you for everything. And then for whatever you might want to do, let's say Boston Terrier snack slinger. And then we've got this. I'll just make it a little bit bigger. We'll go after that one that we saw before. Okay, I'll move this over a little bit. Really fine design. And then you could just download it. So you'd hit download, and then you've got a design. I would make it as a PNG. I'm going to hit transparent backgrounds because I want to be able to put it across all different types of products. And then I'm going to hit download. And then just a little pro tip here. We could also change this to something like Pitbull snack slinger. Download that. Now we've got another design. Let's say we want to try it now for Rottweiler snack slinger. And so when someone does a search, let's actually just change this size a little bit. When someone does a search for, let's say, Rottweiler mom gift or something, boom, we've got that. We can download it again, and then we've got this transparent background, boom, and now we've got another design. So it's quite simple to come up with lots of different designs. Next is choosing a platform. So there's all different types of platforms that you can use, but I would say I like to get people started with either Etsy, Amazon, or eBay, because I think they're the easiest for you. They've already done a lot of hard work in getting customers to their platforms for you. I know some people like to start with, let's say, Shopify, but with that, you have to go and get your own visitors to the website on Etsy, Amazon, eBay. They've already spent a lot of money bringing customers to the platforms on your behalf. I would just go off of there instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so I would say Etsy is the best for beginners. It's very easy to get started. It's pretty intuitive to use their platform once you get signed up, and a lot of people just kind of like it the best. So that's Etsy. I would recommend getting started there. The next one is Amazon. So Amazon has larger traffic. There's more potential for higher sales. It's personally my favorite, but it is a little bit clunky when you're getting started. So I would recommend beginning on Etsy, get your products listed, and then go over to Amazon. Once you kind of have your reps in on Etsy, I think you could definitely make a lot more sales on Amazon. You could later on do things like FBA, which I can make another video about, where you can start to make even more sales. But I would kind of go there. eBay, I love eBay too. You're not going to make as many sales most likely as you would on Etsy and Amazon, but it's good for certain niches. There's less competition. They pay out really fast. I personally really like eBay. I find the customers to be uncomplicated, unfussy, just super simple. You get your money and you get out. But the reason why I like Etsy is because it's a lower barrier to entry for you to get going, strong marketplace for handmade and custom items, and then you can get your first listings, your first 40 listings for free in the link in my description. In order to get started with Etsy, which we'll start with here, you are going to want to get set up, use a professional email address specifically for your business. I mean, you could use your personal email address, but it's probably just the best for you to have kind of a separate thing. So you sign up rachelrofe.com/Etsy so you can get your first listings. Then you put in your email, then you can create a shop name that's simple, not super complicated. If you don't know what you want your shop name to be, you can use AI to get ideas. And then you are going to complete the verification process. So there's going to be, you put in your personal information, your payment details, you'll have your listings from the link that I gave you. So it becomes pretty self-explanatory. You go through the link and then you put in your information. It's going to have you create your first listing. You can put in kind of any dummy listing in here. More often than not now, Etsy is going to take all your information. Sometimes they suspend you right away. That's not anything personal. They're just doing it because there's a lot of bots. So you just answer their questions and you can get your account back pretty quickly. Within days, usually just answer their questions and then you can get going. But it is really simple. You'll see as you're going through. Okay, so for branding your store, that's the next step here. First, you want to create some kind of a logo. It's really not super important, so I wouldn't say to spend too much time on this. You can use software like Canva to come up with some kind of a logo. Your shop banner, I would say, is a little bit more important than the logo because you want to convey here quality and trust. So you can use Canva for that too. Just customize your templates, no problem. Make sure to use the same color theme as whatever you've used for your logo. Okay, for your shop description, this is something that you can change at any time, so I wouldn't get stressed about it. ChatGPT can help, but basically in here, you want to just kind of clearly describe what you sell in your store and then who you're targeting, and then include relevant keywords. So let me show you a good example here. So Seed Geeks are a very popular seller on Etsy. So this one is just, they're an independent, family-owned heirloom seed company. Seed Geeks was started by, and it goes on what they're selling, what they do, what they're passionate about. And so that's a good example. Let me find another one. Okay, here is one. You don't need to have pictures and stuff, but this one, Crazy Dog t-shirts. This one has 321,000 over that sales right now. And it says, welcome to our shop. We're Bill and Bree, the duo behind Crazy Dog t-shirts. And it just goes over kind of where they're from, where the inspiration comes from. We know getting a high quality product is important, so satisfaction's numero uno. So just a little bit about what you sell is fine. It's not really a huge deal. I wouldn't spend a lot of time on this, but just a little something. Again, GPT or any kind of AI tool can help you. Okay, so next we're into listing your product. When you go to list your product, what we want to do is remember on Etsy as an example here that you're going on these sites that are buyer search engines, which means that people are typing in things before they are about to purchase your product, right? So they're saying, let's say, funny knitting shirt, because that's what they want to buy. And so you got to think, what would somebody type in before they purchased, and then make sure that you put that in your title. So you want to have the right keywords there. So it might be for the Boston Terrier design that we just made, maybe funny Boston Terrier, if we put this on a mug, or Boston Terrier sticker or whatever, if that's what people would be looking for. So have whatever they would search in that title that's going to make it the most likely that they find your product. If you have supplementary things like, let's say, funny dog sticker, that would make sense. You can put that in the title, or you could put them in the tags on Etsy. So I try to make this really common sense. I don't like to spend a lot of time because I want to get out a lot of listings, but you could, of course, do further competitor analysis if you wanted to. Everbee can give you some good ideas. You can look at other items that are selling well. My personal strategy is to just go kind of path of least resistance. For the description, this is something, again, you don't need to put a lot of time into it, but if you're going to make a description, I would put in your most, the keywords that make the most sense inside the description that people would be typing to find you. So in the example of the Boston Terrier sticker, I would have, your search for the best Boston Terrier sticker ends here because you can see this is obviously really funny, blah, blah, blah. And basically I'm just trying to work in a way to sneak in that keyword inside the description because that helps show Etsy that that's what this product is about. If there's any secondary, tertiary keywords, you can put those in the descriptions as well. I don't personally really care so much about the length of the description. It's more about just getting out, and then whatever questions that they might have, if you can kind of anticipate those questions in advance and put that in your description, it makes a lot of sense. So what I mean by that is it might be a sizing chart for a shirt, or if this is microwavable and dishwashable, if it's a mug, things that people will ask for. Then for your pricing strategy, everyone does things a little bit different. Adam, who's one of my head coaches for Low Hanging System, he says that every time he ever lists a product, he has a $10 markup for whatever it is he's selling. So let's say Custom Happy has a teddy bear for $9.95 with shipping. I'm just making it. Then the teddy bear will be $19.95 for him on Etsy, so that he's making at least $10. And of course, there's some fees and things, but he actually wants to make it so he gets $10 net profit after every sale. So he'll kind of price in accordingly. Some people want to start pricing pretty low so that they get the reviews. It's really up to you, but I would say at least make $5-10 per product. You might say, well, that's not that much money, but remember, you're creating these designs, you're getting these assets out there, and they could sell. They might never sell, but they also might just sell while you're sleeping. We have no idea, right? And so $5, $10, cha-ching, cha-ching, while you're out doing other things is pretty awesome, and it starts to add up. So for product, you're going to want to get mock-ups, pictures of whatever it is that you're selling. So Happy Launcher is a really great tool for that. You can use Happy Launcher software. You have your design that you've made, you can pop it on top of a picture on the software. Let's say you're selling, I don't know, a cutting board or a teddy bear. You take that design, put it on Happy Launcher, and then it'll give you mock-ups of the products where it looks like the item has already been made, and even though it hasn't, right? And so you put it on these different sites, people will see your Boston Terrier snack pusher, whatever it was, it'll look like it's already been made. They're like, I really like this, they'll purchase it, and then boom. So the designs are basically made on your behalf. All you had to do is come up with that super simple text-based phrase. So from there, you can go, and then if you're using Happy Launcher, you hit the upload button, and then it'll send your items over onto Etsy for you. For fulfilling your orders, it is going to be an amazing feeling once you get your first sale. I would say screenshot it for motivation, make it your phone wallpaper if you want, whatever you want, but this is so fun. It validates your product and this business model for you. I love when people post inside Low Hanging System Facebook group that they've made their first sale. I've seen people say they've done the happy dance, they've done all these things. It's just such a cool moment. So congratulations when you get that. And you're going to need to know, of course, how to fulfill your orders here. So it's quite easy to do this if you're doing print on demand. So if you are using Happy Launcher, this is going to be automatic for you. If you are not, you could go on customhappy.com. If you're using Custom Happy, you would just log in, upload your design. So let's say you sold a shirt, you would just upload the design that you have sold, and then go through the checkout process, and then in the ship to process, then you would put in your customer's order information. If you're using Happy Launcher or Printify or Printful or whatever, the orders will be automatically if they've been integrated properly. For shipping and returns, I would say it would make sense to have policies in place. It really is up to you. A lot of people say that they don't do refunds or returns or anything on custom items, because a lot of these are made to order, especially if you get into personalized items. And so a lot of people just say, unless there's some kind of error that the fulfillment center has made, it's final sale kind of situation. So that's what I would recommend. Of course, if the fulfillment center makes an error, then you could refund it. But if you're dealing with a reputable company, you should be good. Like Custom Happy, for example, I know uses very specific recycled styrofoam, good for the environment packaging so that there's not breakage and stuff. So different places will have different things, but I would say you want to definitely use a reputable print-on-demand fulfillment center so that you're not having to deal with customer issues. And most of the time, you're totally good. And then as you make sales, you can learn from customer feedback. Sometimes customers will give you the most amazing product ideas. They might write in and say, hey, I really like this. Can you make it for gardeners or basket weavers or oncologists, whatever? And then you can make designs for those people, and then you can, sometimes they become your best-selling products. If people like certain things or don't like certain things, you just keep iterating based on what people say. Then from there, you want to just scale, add more products. So it's totally normal if the first few products that you put up don't get sales. Don't get discouraged. I mean, I say you can expect to fail 98, even 99% of the time. That's fine because it's so low risk to get more products up. It's really just a numbers game. The more products that you get listed, the more buy buttons that you're putting out there, the more assets that you're putting out there, and that's the more chances that you're putting out in the universe to sell. So I would say keep putting out your designs. You're also going to kind of start to get a rhythm. They get faster. And then once something sticks, then you can start to expand it to other different types of niches. So this is what I call the throwing spaghetti at the wall method. You throw out a bunch of things. Let's say you start to sell something that Boston Terrier snack pusher shirt sells. Then you can start making more items in the Boston Terrier niche in this example. The other thing that I would recommend doing after you start making more products is expand to other platforms. So once you're comfortable with Etsy and you're making sales, head over to Amazon. Then you can just take the designs that you've put on Etsy, get them on Amazon, get started there. You can go to eBay, you can start to go to other platforms. You can take your designs and put them on more products. So let's say the Boston Terrier shirt is doing really well. We'll put it on a mug or a doormat or a sticker or whatever, and just really maximize your chances as much as possible. There you have it. This is really the beginner's guide to print on demand on 2025. I've condensed kind of a decade of print on demand experience into this one video. Now, even though this video covered the steps in the process, it's pretty much inevitable that you'll face problems or run into obstacles if you're trying to do this alone. So if you are serious about building a business that has the potential to make you reliable sales, where you don't need to trade your time for money, you can do it anywhere in the world, then make sure that you click the link, the first link in the description, and check out my print on demand program. In there, you'll not only have access to these comprehensive modules of things that you can do, you'll get access to me, a supportive community of people that have been doing this, that love this, that cheer each other on, and they're all on the same journey too. Plus, we've got tons of software and resources that only people that are inside the community have access to, and that can prove to be an incredible advantage when it comes to succeeding with print on demand. And of course, results are not guaranteed, but we do have over 1,000 people that have posted inside our group and said that they've made their first sale using this system. So that's pretty cool. The people are just like you. They have made their first sale. Some of them have even gone on to build really big businesses as well. As an example, we've got Adam. He was a police officer in Canada who was about to go bankrupt, followed the system, and now he has just epic results. We've got Nydia from Portugal who desperately needed to create some extra income. She was able to get going really well. We have, so many different people. I'm thinking Connie, she wanted to supplement her G payments a long time ago when she got started, and she was able to do a lot more too. We've got just all different types of people. I can't, of course, guarantee that you're gonna have success. I don't know you, your work ethic, your blah blah, any of that stuff, but I can tell you that this is a system that people have gone through before. They're getting results. I'm personally seeing my sales still go up all these years later after developing the course, because there's just always new products, especially when you're going through these unique fulfillers. If you are looking for a program that kind of tries to put the odds in your favor with print on demand, click the first link in the description, join the program,